makes their offense effective, Iowa's?
In transition, they have multiple guys that can lead the break, so they'll pretty much push the ball with 1 through 4. Whoever gets it will push it. They do a good job in transition, advancing the ball ahead. So if you're not disciplined, sprinting back and getting everybody loaded to the basketball, they create some advantage situations. And then they do a great job of not letting the ball rest, continuing to move it and give their offense pace.
What are maybe some differences you've seen between Chris Murray and his brother?
Yeah, I'd say the thing that's in common is their confidence, as they both kind of stepped up to be go-to guys. I think both have been extremely impactful. As far as differences go, I don't know. Like there's a lot of commonalities in how confident they're playing, how they're shooting the basketball, how they rebound the basketball, and how they score the ball. So from my vantage point, there's a lot more of the parallels and the similarities than there are the differences.
What kind of things are important in a road game, the factors that are even more important in the rest of the building?
Yeah, mental toughness stands out to me, and that means like making the game go the way you need to go, not being reactive when things don't go your way, almost expecting that whether it's a call or a crowd or something, it's expecting those type of things to happen and then staying together, and then just reconnecting for us to our habits every single day, not getting away from anything that we do, establishing our ball pressure, our rebounding, and then commanding our offensive possessions.
Their ability to move the ball in the half court from side to side, what kind of pressure or focus does that put on your guys to stay connected 1 through 5 throughout a possession?
Yeah, it puts a lot of pressure on you. I mean, they run a fair amount of motion. So there's a lot of off-ball screening where they're continuing to pass the ball, and guys are in different spots all the time. And so you've got to have an awareness to what's going on off the ball as well as defending the basketball. They'll post multiple guys, which is unique. So you've got to know that different guys can flash in there at any point in time. It's more random than set plays. So they do a good job of continuing to vary up their offense. They're not predictable, and a lot of guys are in different spots. So I think the ball pressure will really be a big component for us, so they can't just stand and pass to guys, that they're constantly under duress.
Given what you guys have done already this season, do you feel like your guys are confident in their defense? I mean, you've said it that it can stand up to anybody in the country. Do you feel like they're there from a mental standpoint?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we feel like our guys, they know what our identity is. They've done it against some really good teams. Certainly, doing it on the road, what it takes, like we alluded to, a little bit more mental toughness to stay the course when things don't go your way. But, we build our defense starting in the summer that, we're confident that when we go best on best, we believe in what we're doing and our habits that we do every single day. And so we're going to continue to put our trust there, and our guys have done a great job placing their trust and their confidence in that as well.
Given what's going on nationally with conferences expanding beyond recognition eventually, and the fact that conferences, the Big 12 included, plays 2, 3, something like that, challenges, battles, whatever the heck you want to call them, against other conferences. Mm-hmm. Will there continue to be a place for this game?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I don't necessarily have the answer to. In terms of, for us, we're still talking about how many league games will we have. I know that's something that's happened with the Big Ten as well. And so we know that these rivalry games are important. They're important for our fans. They're important for those who've come before us. And so, there's something for us that we embrace and that we get excited for. But at the same time, there's a lot of those decisions are made far over my head and how those things go. And we'll just see, and we'll be adapted to whatever, the outcome is.
I think at every place you've coached, there's been in-state rivalries. What, appreciation does that give you over, the entire course of your career, having seen a number of them up close?
Yeah, no, the in-state rivalries, I mean, certainly the playing in the hostile environments, playing in a packed house, that's if you're a competitor, you want those environments, you want those challenges. Those games are great for you. So, again, I'm not the one that's deciding the conference realignments. I'm not the one deciding a lot of these things. Are certain, once we're given those parameters, there's certain metrics and formulas and things that give us our best chance to move our program forward, and we'll continue to look at those. But as you mentioned, I mean, we've been fortunate to be part of some pretty cool rivalry games, and certainly embrace those.
What has Jazz done to improve his presence on the glass?
He's certainly been more physical. I think the weight that he added and the work that he's done on his body in the offseason has been impactful. He's probably 20 pounds heavier than what he concluded the season last year with. I also feel like with that he's worked his conditioning. So part of it is when you're in the moment, there's a mental conditioning, there's a physical conditioning. It's about having your mind and body ready at all times to do the job that presents itself. And we've obviously played him more minutes this year, and he's been more productive. So that speaks to how he's worked in the offseason to prepare his mind, his body, for those situations.
Talk about the way Rob rose to the challenge that you gave him in the offseason.
Yeah, Rob and I had a lot of conversations last year, especially when, he probably would have liked to have played more minutes. And when we talked at the conclusion of the year, made sure that he understood that was all within the realm of his control based on the choices that he made every single day, not just practicing hard the day before the game or feeling like he's playing hard in the game. And Rob committed in this offseason to changing his body. He's committed to putting the work in on his game. He's improved at the foul line. He's been a low post go-to presence for us, a guy that we throw the ball to in key moments of the game, and he's stepped up. But again, it's choices he's made, it's work that he's put in, it's confidence that he's earned and built through what he's done. And so as a coach, you really, you're proud of guys when they do that, because that's what we're in this for.
What was going through your mind when he checked out of the game the other day?
Really cool experience when you see, nearly 14,000 fans on their feet, to tell him a job well done, and we recognize it and we see it, and pretty special moment. And I think for him too, as he walked off that court and kind of encourage the fans to get off their feet, it was a mutual respect. It was Rob showing his love and gratitude to the Cyclone fan base for giving him the energy. There wouldn't be Big Rob energy without the fans and the energy that they bring to him during the game.
He needs to get a name, image, and likeness deal.
Well, he'd be open to you supporting and funding that. So however you'd like to step up, I'll let him know to reach out.
Sorry, newspapers don't do that, so maybe someday.
How important is his spark off the bench in a road game, in this game specifically?
Well, he does that for us every game, and I think as a coach, it's important you have depth. It's important that you have energy and scoring off the bench, and he's given us both. And he's somebody that, our toughness, our grit, physical plays, things like that, when he comes in the game, they seem to elevate, and that's what we want to do. We want to tell our guys, and we want to demand from them that when we substitute, that we're going to get stronger, that we're going to be tougher, and then when you go past me there to go into the game, that the accountability and the standards we live up to every day, and that we're going to play with those.
How does having him in Oshun that you can throw the ball in the block too, maybe, or how has it helped you guys maybe avoid some of the droughts and things like that you did last year, where you can just drop it down to them and make something happen on close to the rim, I guess?
Yeah, well, it's certainly it's balanced our offense. It's caused our offense to be more physical. It's prevented our guards from feeling like they have to make heroic jump shots at the end of the clock. It's given us something where if teams are switching, that we're able to go inside and take advantage of a mismatch. So it's been really impactful, and something we need to continue to be stubborn and mentally tough to do, and understand that other teams make choices and things that they're doing, and if they're going to switch things, we're going to go inside. And if we're going to be intentional with our possessions, we want to make sure those guys are getting touches, and both Rob and Shun have done a phenomenal job up to this point.